Have your legs ever felt unusually heavy in the morning, like your body was ready to move, but your knees refused to cooperate? Do you sometimes grab onto the wall, a chair, or even a nearby table, just to steady yourself from that strange morning wobble? If you're over 60, you've probably been told it's just aging. Normal stiffness, they say, a part of getting older. But what if that's not entirely true? What if some of the foods you start your day with, the ones you've trusted for years, are quietly weakening the very muscles that carry you through life? What if something as innocent as your breakfast is stealing your strength, one bite at a time? Today, we're uncovering 3 common breakfast foods that seem healthy, but are actually working against your legs. We'll tell you which one protects you, and which one could secretly harm you. If any of this feels familiar, those tired steps, the stiffness in your calves, or the quiet frustration of not feeling as strong as you used to, then this video is for you. Please take a moment to click that red subscribe button. It helps more than you know. And in the comments, if this sounds like your experience, type the number 1. If not, type 0. Your voice matters here, and your story might help someone else. Let's start with something that seems almost sacred at the breakfast table: orange juice. It's bright, refreshing, and for many of us, it feels like a symbol of a healthy start. You might remember TV commercials showing smiling seniors sipping a tall, golden glass of OJ with their breakfast promising vitality, vitamins, and energy. And yes, it's true that oranges contain vitamin C and other important nutrients. So how could something so wholesome be hurting your legs? Here's the twist. It's not the orange itself. It's the concentrated sugar in store-bought orange juice. See, most commercial orange juices are stripped of their natural fiber and packed with as much sugar as a can of soda. That sugar doesn't just affect your waistline. It goes straight to your bloodstream, causing a sharp spike in blood sugar levels. And that's where the damage begins, especially for aging muscles. When your blood sugar spikes suddenly, your body scrambles to respond by releasing insulin. But over time, especially in seniors, this repeated cycle creates chronic inflammation. And inflammation, as research from the National Institute on Aging has shown, directly contributes to muscle breakdown, reduced circulation in the lower limbs, and increased fatigue in your legs. It's like pouring sticky syrup into your blood vessels, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your leg muscles. You might not feel it all at once, but the signs creep in slowly. Morning stiffness that lasts longer than it used to. A strange feeling of heaviness in your thighs when climbing stairs. Or your calves aching halfway through a short walk. That's not just old age. That's inflammation whispering through your veins. And here's the truly scary part. Orange juice is often just the beginning. It opens the door for a chain reaction, because after the sugar spike wears off, what happens next? You crash. Your energy dips. And when your muscles are already struggling to maintain strength, that crash can lead to less movement, which means even more muscle loss over time. It becomes a silent downward spiral. A study published in the journal Nutrients found that older adults with high sugar breakfasts experienced increased levels of C-reactive protein, a marker for inflammation, within just hours. That inflammation doesn't just make joints ache, it attacks the connective tissue and muscle fibers in your legs, accelerating a condition called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. And once that starts, every step feels a little more burdensome. So the next time you reach for that tall glass of orange juice, ask yourself, what is this really doing for me? Now here's the good news. There are much better morning drinks for your leg strength, and we'll share them in the relief section. But first, what about your go-to morning toast? You might want to hear this ... Now, let's talk about that comforting. Smell the warm aroma of toast popping up from the toaster. Or maybe it's a toasted bagel, smeared with butter or jam. For many, it's the morning ritual. It feels safe, nostalgic, familiar. After all, bread has been a breakfast staple for generations, right? But if you're relying on white bread or standard bagels to start your day, your legs might be paying a quiet price. Most white breads and bagels are made from refined flour, which is processed so much that it loses most of its fiber and nutrients. What's left behind is a fast-digesting starch that acts just like sugar once it hits your bloodstream. That means your breakfast, though it may not taste sweet, is actually causing a rapid glucose spike in your body. And just like orange juice, that spike sets off a dangerous cycle, especially in seniors. But why does this matter for your legs? Think of your leg muscles as hard-working engines. They need steady fuel, slow-burning carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats to keep them powered and responsive. But white bread floods the engine with a burst of fast fuel and then quickly leaves it empty. The result? Your legs may feel a burst of energy, followed by a steep crash. That crash isn't just in your mood or focus, it happens in your muscle function too. When your body is forced to produce large amounts of insulin to handle these spikes repeatedly, it leads to a condition called insulin resistance. And insulin resistance, according to a study published in the Journals of Gerontology, is strongly associated with lower leg muscle mass and strength in older adults. Over time, this weakens your leg's ability to respond to movement and maintain balance. That's when you start to feel unsure going upstairs, or notice your legs trembling after a walk. Another hidden danger? White bread and bagels are often devoid of magnesium and potassium, two critical minerals that help your muscles contract properly. When you lack them, you might start to notice tiny tremors in your legs, or those nighttime foot cramps that make you jolt awake. That's not just coincidence. It's a quiet warning sign from your muscles saying, "We're not getting what we need." Even worse, these breakfast breads are typically paired with high-sugar spreads, like fruit jam, cream cheese, or even flavored butter. This creates a double whammy: sugar on top of sugar, inflammation layered over inflammation. Over time, your joints might begin to feel tight, your knees might sound a little more like crumpling paper, and your feet may start swelling during the day. And it's so sneaky. Because toast doesn't make you feel sick. It doesn't give you a stomachache. Instead, it just quietly dulls your strength. Slowly, softly, until one day you notice that it's harder to get up from a chair, or you don't feel as stable getting into the bathtub, or you walk a little slower crossing the street. Now, don't worry. There are far better morning choices for bread lovers, ones that strengthen instead of weaken, and we'll cover those in our solution section. But first, there's one more breakfast food that's perhaps the most deceptive of all. It's something often marketed as heart healthy. But when it comes to leg strength, this next one might shock you the most. No. This next one might really surprise you: flavored instant oatmeal packets. Yes, the very breakfast that's often labeled as heart healthy, high fiber, and good for cholesterol. And in many ways, plain old-fashioned oats do carry those benefits. But here's where things take a dangerous turn. When oats are stripped down, artificially flavored, and packed into those quick little packets, they stop acting like real oats and start behaving more like candy. You see, the kind of oats used in instant oatmeal packets are heavily processed. They're pre-cooked and cut so thin that your body digests them at lightning speed. Combine that with added sugars, artificial flavors, and salt, and you've got a breakfast that may raise your blood sugar faster than a donut. Yes, some instant oatmeal packets contain as much as 12 to 18 grams of added sugar per serving. That's over 4 teaspoons of sugar in one little bowl. So what does this do to your legs? It triggers something known as glycemic inflammation, a kind of internal swelling that doesn't show up on the outside, but slowly eats away at your muscle quality and energy metabolism. In simpler words, it makes your legs feel tired faster, slows down muscle recovery, and even contributes to fat accumulation in the thighs and calves. According to a study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, meals with a high glycemic index like sweetened instant oatmeal create metabolic stress that directly affects lower limb muscle function in older adults. That translates to fatigue, reduced walking speed, and a weaker grip, which is often linked to lower body strength. Believe it or not. And then come the hidden symptoms. Maybe you start skipping your daily walk because your knees ache a little too much. Or you avoid bending down to reach something because your thighs feel shaky. Or you begin noticing that it takes longer to get up off the couch. These are all quiet signs that your leg muscles aren't recovering or performing the way they should. Another sneaky trap with instant oats is sodium. Some flavored varieties have 200 to 300 milligrams per packet, which might not sound like much, but for seniors with blood pressure concerns, it adds up, especially when it causes fluid retention. That puffiness in your ankles? That swelling around your calves after sitting too long? It may not be the weather or your shoes. It might be the salt in your morning oats. And we haven't even mentioned the flavorings, those apple cinnamon, maple brown sugar, or peaches and cream. Variations often contain artificial sweeteners and chemical additives that add even more strain to your kidneys and liver, which are already working overtime with age. So yes, oats can be healing, but not when they're rye, trapped inside a foil packet pretending to be healthy. Don't worry. In our relief section, we'll show you how to prepare real oats in a way that nourishes your legs and protects your joints. But for now, just remember, the next time you reach for that easy microwavable oatmeal, ask yourself, is this truly helping me stand taller and walk stronger? Because sometimes convenience comes at the cost of your strength. You've made it this far, and that already says something powerful. You care. You're willing to learn, to change, to protect your independence. And the truth is, while those harmful breakfast habits may have been silently stealing your strength, there's good news. You can begin restoring it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. It starts with your first meal of the day. What you put into your body in the morning becomes the foundation for how your legs, your energy, and your focus perform throughout the day. Because life is still happening, and you deserve to move through it with strength and grace. If no one has told you this lately, let me be the first. You're doing better than you think. You've taken the time to learn, to listen, and to care for yourself, and that matters. Aging is not easy. It asks so much from you: patience, adaptability, and above all, strength. But here's the truth. You are not powerless. Not even close. You may have spent years starting your morning with orange juice, toast, or sweetened oats believing they were good for you. That's not your fault. You were doing what you thought was right. But now you know better. Now you understand how subtle those daily habits can be, and how deeply they can affect your legs, your energy, and your freedom. And here's the beautiful part: you still have time. You can take control. Every breakfast is a new beginning. Every choice you make, swapping sugar for protein, processed carbs for healing fiber, is a message to your body that says, I care about you. I want to walk stronger. I want to live better. Don't underestimate what small decisions can do. They might seem quiet today, but tomorrow they echo through your body as lighter steps, steadier balance, and a confidence you forgot you had. So let's keep going. Let's protect those legs that carry your freedom. Let's honor them. If this video helped you, even a little, please type one thing you learned in the comments. It might encourage someone else who's quietly struggling. And if you haven't already, click that like button and subscribe for more senior health wisdom that's honest, kind, and made just for you. You matter. Your health matters. And the best days for your legs? They're still walking right beside you.